which all look like bacterial mat from a distance. But they are probably fed by the methane. Would they be chemosynthetic? Yeah. So they're munching on the methane. It's the bacteria that are synthesizing the methane in the pore fluids and the sediments. We've got some small patches of shell hash, it looks like, these little circles. Can you zoom in on that, Ed? Or
Yeah, sure. When you're ready, Bob.
What are you zooming on?
we just want to look at what these little circles are. I think they're shell
You need
hash.
to draw?
I think I...
Like these.
Yeah. Okay. Zoom in.
Coming in. Starting this up. Holding partial.
More mat.
Yeah, more mat.
I got more zoom if you want it.
You
Yeah.
want to go for it.
So yeah, it's bacterial mat. Bacterial mat circles, like a crop circle on the seafloor. Okay, thank you.
Zoom up.
Coming out.
Bizarre. Okay. So it's,
Want to zoom in again?
sure. So a way of differentiating is the bacterial
Partial.
mat is a lot brighter than the gastropods. Thanks, Ed.
Coming out.
Okay. Thank you. Okay,
Oh, Bob.
heading on towards waypoint 5. So any of the bubble streams that we've seen so far today, we could sample with the gas tight. We want to find a good vigorous one so it doesn't take too long. But right now we're just looking around, following our waypoints. And once we get to waypoint 5, we're probably gonna, well, we're going, yeah, not a waypoint 5. So we're still traveling along the base of the north wall of Astoria Canyon. We're in fish, eel pop. So we're still traveling along the base of the north wall of Astoria Canyon. We're in fish, eel pouts. This part of Astoria Canyon we do not believe has been explored with a remotely operated vehicle of this class on previous expeditions. Way back in the early 90s, Bob Embley, myself, Waldo Wakefield, Chris Goldfinger came out here and did remotely operated vehicle dives, mostly on the canyon walls. Here, I think we did 7 or 8 dives. I'm not exactly sure where those locations were. We were doing those with the National Marine Fisheries Service. So we weren't looking for methane bubble streams, and I don't recall us ever seeing any.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well done on saying National Marines Fisheries Service and not NIVS.
Yeah. I really dislike acronyms. I often wonder why everybody knows what NASA is, but nobody knows what NOAA is, you know?
I think
Which is
Woods Hole has suffered that
yes,
the
it's
entire time.
the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, which is NOAA.
There's a great word because we see a lot of organizations will take a common word and figure out how to make it be an acronym for something. And I've heard that technique referred to as a backronym.
Oh, that's good.
I know that, but you're also tilted almost straight down.
Start with the word.
Like your camera, I'm not really out of frame
Off.
or anything.
I
I haven't tugged you yet, right?
Saying.
It looks like we're seeing some bacterial mat and probably gastropods to port right ahead of us, right? Just off to the left.
Roger.
Some mottled sediments. Is that where your target was, Chris, or
No,
not?
it's still up ahead.
Okay. We'll
You want to
keep,
keep going for that
we'll
target?
keep going.
Okay, roger.
20 degrees to port. There you go. Or there you go.
Yeah,
Straight ahead.
I got you.
There are a lot of
A little bit
patches
less than what I did. Gotcha.
of very thin bacterial mat, these tiny gastropods, which are indicative of methane seeping out of the seafloor here, caught up in the pore water spaces in the sediments. Here we're seeing a little bit of shell hash, which are the larger bivalves,
What's the range?
clams.
6 meters.
They do not look healthy. So this is just a large area with these tiny gastropods spread all over the place, probably 5 meters wide on this reduced sediments.
2 meters.
Oh yeah, look at this. Yeah, we're seeing more gastropods.
1 meter.
Got bubbles
There
on
they
the
are.
left.
Wow. It's pretty amazing.
Coming out of that cloud?
I'm just the improvements that we've made in the 5 years that we've been out here
A down light on?
to be able to find these bubble
Yeah,
streams.
see.
Down light.
Going right to him.
Yeah. That's amazing. Okay, so yeah, we have a bubble stream right in front of us. Can see some patches of bacterial
Bridge
mat
nav, hold position.
off to the port side, left side. Maybe shell hash.
Video zoom.
Coming in.
We'll have to give that a look.
Bump it down.
You write this up and get published, and we'll call this area Susan's Garden.
Right.
Bubble garden.
Yes.
Nice crop.
Yeah, so this will be bubbles 5. Looks
Yep.
like it's coming out of a couple of orifices in the seafloor.
There. Multiple little holes.
So yeah, several exit points from the seafloor. Does not look like it's a real vigorous. Let's see, yeah, you can just see a little teeny tiny patches of bacterial mat. It's really
Take
not,
all your
closer.
eyes off. So you
I think those are little anemones in there that we're seeing.
don't
Maybe.
run around as much. Be smoother.
It almost looks like there's some diffuse flow in these sites, but it's
Yeah.
super hard to really pull it out. All of the material in the water.
So there's some larger bubbles with some sort of coating, probably hydrate. When the bubbles wobble like that, they have some sort of coating on their surface, and that makes them appear much, much brighter in the multi-beams sonar data that we collect from the ship. So yeah, it looks like it's coming out of the seafloor here in several spots. 1, 2. Three, 4.
Yeah, there's definitely shimmering there.
You see shimmer?
At times I do.
Are you sure that's not just bubbles?
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was shimmer or the marine snow.
Right.
let's look around and see if we see
Come out.
any evidence of
A
hydrate.
little ways off.
Let's just sort of,
Oh, looks like there's heavier bubbling just off to our right under.
let's just move along this in the
Slip bump.
deeper section here, move along the bank so that we can look at that bank and see if we see any
Want
hydrate.
the downlight off again?
Sure.
Yeah, if we could go down a little bit deeper and look at this from the bottom and look into it. We're trying to search for hydrate here, so if we could look off to the left, Bob.
Kylie.
Yeah, Kylie's flying.
Yeah, Kylie, we want to be looking down there.
It's down slope though.
Well,
It's hard to.
I know, but can we
She's
just...
only
let's
a meter, 1.3 off the bottom.
Okay, let's go ahead. You see this large area ahead of us? It's sort of a collapse. Like to look around there a little bit.
Sure.
You're almost setting down in the back of it.
Yeah. Roger.
It's down slope.
We need to explore and see if we see anything besides just bubbles.
Video, can you zoom just a half? Yeah, that's good.
There?
Yeah.
I have faith in Kylie. Yeah, if we could just kind of move into that depression when you get yourself all set up. Look around a little bit.
To get to this bright white area just to the right of lasers, I'd like to do a full snap zoom for just a couple seconds.
Over there?
Yeah, is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
Just going all the way in just for a sec. 5, 4,
So a little bit.
3,
Sorry.
2, 1. Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. And it did look like maybe a little bit of diffuse flow.
Yeah, that would explain the snails.
Okay, let's look off to the left and let's look at that chunk that's sitting right there in front of us.
Sure.
Maybe we'll turn downlight back on.
Okay.
So this is another really large area where we're seeing all these tiny gastropods. We're seeing a...
Oh, it's a
Oh,
fish.
it's a fish. Oh, I thought that was our hydrate.
He's like, please don't drill it into me. Our heart rate is slipping away.
Aw.
Pick off a chunk.
I'm out of here. Oh, man. That would have been too easy anyway, just sitting there, you know. Okay. Maybe off to your right a little bit and where you're seeing more of these gastropods. I just want to look over this area a bit and maybe off in the distance there as well. It's still...
Almost on the bottom.
Roger.
0.2.
So if we could just go straight ahead and a little bit to port, Kylie, that would be nice. See if we could see anything that might resemble hydrate.
Let's look at this clam hash.
Yeah, there's a bit of shell hash here, which is a positive sign. We're seeing larger gastropods, clams. Yeah, let's go straight ahead towards that shell hash area.
Video, can you zoom a
Yeah.
little?
Partial to about there.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so that's maybe bacterial mat instead of shell hash, huh? So some more. Can you zoom in on that, Ed? I think it's bacterial mat, right?
Give me a second, please.
Oh, no problem.
So like Bob was saying, it's like slopey, so my butt end was sitting like on the ground.
It's almost dragging the rear through the mud going down the slope here.
Okay.
You can't see anything. So
but I can try to
She's
turn
doing
around and
good.
look at it from a different angle.
You can come up off the bottom a bit. It seems like we've sort of
Well,
looked
we
around
just
here.
need to be coming at it upslope instead
Right.
of downslope.
Right.
So that's the problem. But now you're going to be having the current to your back, and then
Right.
the crud's going to come over the top.
You know, that's okay. That's new to me because I was always told that we should always climb upslope.
That's what I just said. I said we were facing downslope.
And now we're kind of facing sort of upslope.
we
Okay,
go.
all right,
Zoom
good.
on that.
Yep, zoom.
Just
Okay,
trying
good.
to roll it out as hydrate.
Sorry,
That's
that's
it's
not
we
useful.
were
bad.
dragging the tail in the dirt, and you couldn't see anything.
That might be,
That's bacterial
yeah,
map.
yep, concur.
Yeah, it's pretty thick though compared to all
Put
the other
those
mats.
samplers there.
Huh?
I said, who put those samplers there?
Okay,
Yeah. they're
Bob, I'm
helpful.
gonna put it in auto depth, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch with you.
Okay.
So this is a large diffuse area, probably methane seeping out from the seafloor over a large area here, probably 10 meters. In length. And we were now at waypoint 4. Okay, thank you, you guys.
Sure.
Can you turn north for a second, Bob?
Waiting for things to clear here.
Your mic is still muted.
So the problem was we were going downslope, and the trail was dragging in the dirt. And then we had to turn around and face upslope so we could see the bottom. And then the current's to our back, so it's blowing all the stuff that was on the frame into the front of the vehicle and obscuring the view. That's where we were at with all that.
I thought that what I was doing was trying to guide you to go from downslope to upslope, but you always just let me know, Bob.
Well, I'm just explaining what was going on there.
Okay.
Go to my gauges over here
Yeah.
real quick.
So
It made for a very difficult setup because
I guess I didn't see it that way. I thought we were downslope and looking upslope. That was
we were
that was
going
my intention.
I was looking at the altitude. We were 0.2 meters off the bottom, and you were complaining about not being able to see the bottom. So that was not working out very well for us.
Well, sorry about that.
I just did my gauges, Kylie. I'm not sure if we're
Roger.
synced right now or not.
This is weird round.
I give it 10. But thank you.
So what are we looking at?
What are we looking at?
like a
I
heart
thought I saw
shape.
something, but it
Okay, so what's the plan?
Waypoint 5.
waypoint 5,
Uh,
110.
110.
110.
Bridge nav, 90 meters, 110.
Cool. We're keeping an eye out for hydrate.
It was 0.7 tether wraps, but 0.6. Never mind. Never mind.
Which I will off this
Of
land.
jellies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. It's like a bunch of ghosts.
Yellow.
It does.
There's a jelly meeting at 11.
Wow. Aw, aren't they pretty? And what's the yellow thing that's going with them? It's their pal.
Zoom in, Ed?
Yeah, coming in.
Very odd, huh?
That's kind of a cool shot.
Is that like a larvation
Larvation
shot?
Oh my
gosh.
Showing off with
That's a party right here.
there's an eel pout.
Yeah, I think the red jellies are Paralia jellies, and I'm not sure if the yellow thing is a larvation house or not.
That eel pout looks like he's ready for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
It's missing. No, it's intact.
It's like all by itself. It's the funny looking one. Where's my pals? That's amazing. Little fish just staring at us. Jellyfish parade in front of us.
Billion.
That was cool. Ah,
How far are we going?
90 meters.
and this whole area.
We okay for Doppler?
Sure.
Dopplers, reset.
Roger.
It's covered in these tiny gastropods.
Raj.
Yeah, to the
It's
right,
gonna
I think.
focus and come out, look at the top of the frame.
Like over in here, maybe? I don't know.
Just so much stuff
I
in the
don't
water
see
column. Yeah.
Will you zoom?
Okay.
I'm not seeing any bubbles.
No, me neither. Interesting looking feature. So it's a
Oh, why?
mound. And at the base of this mound is sort of a line of maybe 3 or 4 bubble streams. Not as vigorous as what we've seen previously. Lots and lots of gastropods. Okay. Yeah, I guess we are at waypoint 4. Let's head on over to waypoint 5.
All right, waypoint 5. Bearing 115.
Roger.
Okay. And looks like that's a little over 100 meters.
Bridge nav, 140 meters, 115.
To our southeast.
And downlight off.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Just gonna do a little push in, get some of this stuff out of the frame.
4 for 4. That's good. Now all we need is some hydrate.
I gotta do gauges.
No, you don't.
I don't?
At the at 18, just before 18.
Oh, I see.
But good job being on it.
Thanks. Still learning over here.
It's not too late to learn something new. And we're traveling to the next waypoint. Here along the base of the north wall of Astoria Canyon. Astoria Canyon is at the mouth of the Columbia River, which is the border between Washington and Oregon. We're about 30 miles, 28 miles off the coast of of that board.
Looks a lot less like.
Got a look.
Yep, coming in. Holding, partial.
That's good.
Ooh, that's right.
They're kind of all over the bottom of
Yep.
the depression, right?
Well, there's some bottom right just about to leave frame.
Right.
That little thing that looks like a flatfish. Down in there. There's some
Can you point those out?
to the right of the lasers.
I don't see them, Ed.
Yeah, just a second here.
Sure.
Yeah, this looks like very salt and peppery compared to a lot of the other mats we were seeing at old
All right,
sites.
I got them. Hold on. Let me get an arrow. No, I lost them. I think they're right down in
Sorry.
there somewhere. But I'll get them again. Yeah, right there.
Okay. Not something to write home.
Oh, they're pretty good. It's just
About-
we're losing them in the snail background.
Can you zoom a little more?
Sure.
I'll try to, sorry, that's the wrong direction.
Oh. Okay. There we go.
So I think they're actually coming out further down.
Oh,
But
yeah.
We're shallower. So
Of the seafloor somewhere.
yeah, the camera's going to respond way sharper to our input.
Okay, so it looks like a... Just along the base of
Yeah,
this.
there's like a line there.
Yeah.
They're coming out.
So would this be bubbles 4? You got it in there already.
Slight bump.
So this is not all of that strong a stream.
What's your tether?
Sort of in a line on the base of this mound
So
with a lot of gastropods, some bacterial mat.
what's the plan?
Are we gonna keep going to waypoint 5 then?
Yes, it's, yeah, let's just let's look around a little bit more before we take off, see if there's
Okay.
anything else in this area. Can we move ahead a little bit, maybe?
Can I have downlight on?
Downlight?
Yes, please.
So it's a
18 years old.
oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it had an impact.
Yeah, I mean, I saw, aquariums growing up and
Right.
documentaries of the ocean,
Where did you
dreaming of it. I went to Costa Rica with my Spanish 4 honors class after we graduated.
Oh wow.
We went to Costa Rica for about 9 days.
Oh, I bet that was something.
Yeah, it was great.
bet.
And then I had the itch to travel ever since.
Yeah, once you go, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, Tammy's husband's from Costa Rica.
Oh, it's a beautiful place. Very
And-
nice people.
And they have a large portion of the country is set aside, right? I mean, they have a lot of reserves there, and
And then, yeah, like I think Costa Rica is home to like the most biodiversity
It's okay. Your microphone's
on the
off.
planet. Like
uh,
their rainforests and
I know they have like
yeah, it's very yeah.
the most different hummingbird species in the world.
Yeah, they also have
They're called
sloths.
for us.
Yeah, sloths. Saw a few of those.
Yeah.
Did it run away?
I did see one fall out of a tree, but it was fine.
Oh, that's good.
We helped move it out of the street.
Oh, that's good. I always think of sloths like very slow moving, right?
Although I believe one of the two-toed or the three-toed, one of them is faster than the other, but I can't
Yeah.
remember.
If you got 3 toes, you can probably run faster than if you have 2.
Actually, well,
I think
don't
it's their claws. It doesn't even look like a toe. It looks like a
This is what happens when Megan leaves the room. We start talking about sloths.
Yeah.
They
Oh.
have to use their muscles to release their grasp, not to hold on.
Oh.
So their natural state of their limbs and toes is that they're grabbing, and they have to use energy to release.
Oh.
Which is how they're
Ed,
able to
where do
hold
you
on.
come up with all of this stuff?
Well, I trying to educate a 5-year-old who's fascinated with sloths.
Oh, that's sweet.
And baby sloths make it very cute, as you would expect.
Okay, what's the little fish we're seeing in it?
That's a eel pout, yeah.
Eel pout.
Because it has a little fins in front that it's resting on.
Uh-huh.
Whereas a hagfish wouldn't have those.
Yeah, and hagfish are fatter. That's probably a sole there.
Yeah.
And we got thorny heads. So we have quite a few fish down here. Nothing like what we saw yesterday, or as far as rockfish go, we're too deep for rockfish at this point. We're in 700.
Salinity
Can make a huge difference.
Big difference. So they're doing enough expeditions that I tell people who've ever been in that you did not see of the ocean are like, they have these patchy environments where all of these conditions are right for an organism.
Well,
but then when you take the water temperature or the salinity or, you know, any of those variables and you adjust them, that area is no longer conducive to those.
It's like the tree line, you know, in Alaska.
Yeah.
You know, where the trees stop in Alaska, it's at a much lower elevation than where they stop in Oregon, you know, due to temperature. Ed lived in Alaska as well for some time.
Yeah, that was a fun place to live.
Yep. So we are approaching waypoint 4.
Yes.
Looks like we're about 30 meters.
Yep.
So you can't put targets on this?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, so now I'm hearing from Lila Arter Bellucci that it is not too deep for rockfish. Those thorny heads are rockfish.
There's a big depression there.
Maybe it's too deep for other types of rockfish.
Yes,
maybe
that's perhaps.
I'm telling you, you just put out incorrect information and you get experts from everywhere, yeah.
Bridge now.
Is this
25 meters, 128.
Yeah.
That's Lila
those
on
look
board.
like
That's
sea
our
pigs
science.
right there, too. Hard to tell.
Thanks, Lila. Okay, so we are approaching the waypoint. Are we seeing anything, Chris?
No, I haven't been seeing anything. Well, actually, now that I just pulled the... Yeah, we might have something here. Turn off to your left a little bit there.
Sure.
Okay, straight ahead. This might be on the ground, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, we're that we saw in the multi-beam sonar this morning. What was a...
All right.
Black
yeah, what's that black?
Yeah, there's something coming out there.
There is?
Well, it could be an organism burrowing or...
Yeah. So we're going to pause here and kind of look around with the sonar.
Slide over to our port.
It looks like there's something ahead, Chris, and Bob, you see the...
What'd you say it was, Bob? I couldn't hear you.
I think it's
Video zoom.
It's puff
Coming in.
Wow, look at that. Oh my goodness.
Come wide.
That looks like maybe an eel pout.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got bubbles 5 meters ahead in the sonar.
Yeah, you can see there's a lot of back mat up ahead of us.
Yeah.
Looks like a good site. If we can approach it from this side, then we can actually look at it and maybe see some hydrate in there.
And so we're just doing the survey now, and then we're going to come back later and do the sampling.
Yes.
The lay of the land part of the dive right now.
That's what we're doing. Okay, this is looking promising. Yet again, another one of
You
these little
reset the bubble.
collapses.
Sorry.
I'd like to be able to look in there and see if we can see hydrate. We've seen on seafloor here at Astoria Canyon, sea stars,
Yeah, they're so
floating
pretty.
heads. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. Oh, there's a little guy we haven't seen before. And making our way to the next waypoint. Now what we need to find is a little bit of hydrate. A lot of hydrate would be even better.
Yeah, we could do it again.
Just some
Yeah,
hydrate.
I think we could do it.
I think we can. We need to locate it for tomorrow when she comes on her watch. Tamara's our lead scientist out here, and she's also with Oregon State and the NOAA Earth-Ocean Interactions Program. She works with myself and Jeff Beeson down and Anson in Newport, Oregon at Hatfield Marine Science Center.
Mark Hatfield still with us?
No, he passed
No.
away. He was a wonderful senator. A real environmentalist. And he's the reason that we have Hatfield Marine Science Center there. He really wanted to push for there to be some sort of oceanographic institute on the Oregon coast. Oregon's done a lot of great things, you know. Between him and Tom McCall,
Yeah.
back in the day when they had some moderate Republicans in office, they did some great things. I mean, Tom McCall instituted the bottle bill, you know, so we
Yes.
started recycling. All of Oregon's beaches belong to the public. There are no private beaches in Oregon. That was also Tom McCall. And Mark Hatfield, of course, he was a big environmentalist and really interested in the ocean and pushed for Hatfield Marine Science Center to be there. He didn't push for it to be named after him, but it was. Both great men in Oregon history.
Also had Wayne Morris back in the days.
Who was he?
He was a representative from Eugene who voted against the Gulf of Tonkin resolution.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah, I've been a resident of Oregon for almost 24 years, and it's just a wonderful state. Before that, I lived in Seattle for 11 years. Locating these bubble streams on the seafloor.
It's our first Rathbanaster. I haven't seen that guy.
Oh, okay, great big one. A lot more legs. being able to map the very near shore parts of the margin. Almost 40% of Cascadia margin is under 200 meters water depth. So, and we've surveyed very little of that with this type of sonar. There have been a lot of fisheries lines that have been run. And they have an EK60 sonar system going on. And so they've been able to pick up these bubble streams in shallower water, but they don't have the accompanying seafloor data with them. But we do get an idea of what's going on in the water column with those systems.
Yeah, for viewers, you can kind of think about this a little like you can tune a sonar to be good at detecting certain things, and fishery sonars are set up to look at the water column so that they're actually looking at the swim bladders, the air inside fish, and reflecting that back and using that to understand fish, because that's their primary research target. So in the same way, if you're looking at an air pocket inside a fish, you could see an air pocket inside a bubble. But our sonar, for example, is, I always think about it like a big triangle. You're sending down a fan
Still a little bit left
of acoustic pings, and if the seafloor is deep, that fan goes a long way before it, you get a really wide base on that triangle before it intersects the seafloor.
Fish or something.
And in shallow water, you just get a really much smaller triangle because the angle doesn't change. It still goes out at the same way, but you just run into the seafloor a lot sooner. So call that like your swath width, how wide you're surveying to either side of the ship. And in shallow water, it's just like, it's a little narrow path. So that's where we lose that efficiency.
It's based on the depth. So you get about 4 times your water depth with these systems. So if we're in 100 meters of water, you're going to get about 400 meters of coverage on the seafloor. If you're in 1,000 meters of water, you're going to get 4,000 meters of coverage on the seafloor. So
and if you're in 4,000 meters of water, where we often are,
really, then you would want a sonar with even a lower frequency. The EM
as you get deeper than
122 12 kilohertz works better in deeper water. So that's the way sonar works. But the fan view too, it's a bit of a issue because it's a fan. Some of the top of these multi-beam water bubble streams, we call them flares in the sonar industry. We don't see the top of them; they get cut off.
You're good.
It's only if you're right beneath the ship that we get to trace them all the way, determine their full rise height if they're tall flares, and if they reach the sea surface. So it's kind of a tricky business. We're back in starfish land. I'm sorry, sea stars. Is that we'll be able to in the future use things like sail drones to map the very sail drones, give them a survey pattern and into the gas phase and be released into the sea into the sea and could affect the pH of the oceans. But we also see oceans warming affecting so many other things like melting the Greenland ice sheet and glaciers and ice sheets down in Antarctica. The heating of the oceans, it's causing the water to expand. It's causing more hurricanes. 10 degrees, we're talking 0.1, 0.2 degrees. Same thing with the air. I mean, warm air holds more moisture, which is one of the reasons that we see these huge rainstorms that we're seeing these days. And
Chris, how far are we?
Hey, Ed, can I get the control van on 3? I don't have that option back here on my switcher.
But yes, as hydrates melt.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to change the pH of the ocean. Right now, that methane is held up in that solid form. And that's one of the things that why we surveyed the 500-meter contour which is
The boundary.
the boundary of, the feather edge of methane hydrate stability, deeper than 500 meters. A lot of this methane is in a solid form, in hydrate form. And we worry that as oceans warm, it may be converted to the gas phase and affect the pH of the oceans. And we think that every 10 years or so, it would be a smart thing to resurvey the 500-meter contour along the Cascadia margin to see how things have changed. If we're seeing more bubble streams and deeper water.
It's also in the source cam menu now. You should have it.
Thank you.
Sure.
So yeah, we're right now we're out here just trying to establish a baseline of what's going on. Out here, we have surveyed with these multi-beam water column data and co-registered seafloor data. We've surveyed about 50% of Cascadia margin now. Unfortunately, the parts that need to be surveyed next are shallow water and
Videos or great photo albums or...
And will that point you to the various expeditions as well?
It will. It has this awesome calendar that slides back and forth through the year, and you can see when each of the ships are doing what.
Oh, that's awesome.
Aren't some of our resources also available in Spanish?
They are, yes.
That's
our
great.
STEM learning modules are all entirely translated into Spanish, and our top 100 most popular highlights are also captioned in Spanish now.
Great.
It's good.
Thanks, Ed. T. Drive.
Well, we always seem to have a, spattering of Spanish speakers on board, so.
Angelica?
Yeah. Maxime as well. I was surprised he started talking to me in Spanish the other day.
Max?
And I was replying before I even caught on to the fact that what he said was not in English. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Plus Mike, Ed, Tammy. I don't know who else speaks Spanish.
Yeah, it wasn't like, it wasn't like, como esta kind of stuff. He was asking me, like, how many months are you going to be on board the boat?
Awesome. And we have viewers watching from 15 countries right now around the world. So thanks all for being here. Welcome to Astoria Canyon in the Eastern Pacific. Susan, viewers have a question about, with the oceans warming, is that likely to release more methane from the seafloor?
Well, the oceans are warming since the beginning of the industrial age, about 200 years ago. The oceans have been sucking up 90% of what's going on. Around down here. All kind of looks the same. That might have been that target, Chris. Do you see anything else?
No, there's nothing else in the sonar ahead.
Okay.
Thank you, Ken Solik, for the fish ID topic. So here you go, viewers at home. This will help you ID between the two as well. Sablefish and lingcod both have that long, thin body shape. And they both can be variable in coloration from that like distinct banding to the kind of gray.
Yeah.
Sablefish, there's a notable long gap between the first and second dorsal fin, and in lingcod, the first and second dorsal fin are basically together. They're close, touching, barely any gap. It's helped ID the fish that we've seen so far today as sablefish.
Okay.
And this kind of expertise
where to now?
is super helpful coming in from shore.
Thank you very much.
Looks like there's another one ahead we can practice our
We can.
fish ID on.
We ready for waypoint 4, Susan?
Yes, we are.
Sounds like the dorsal gap is the...
Dorsal gap is your go-to.
Yeah.
Okay, new heading. 130.
Gap between the first and second.
Yeah.
In the sablefish and lingcod, barely any gap. Seems like the lingcod we've seen have more coloration as well.
Bridge nav,
Yeah.
200 meters, 130.
So we're 200 meters away from our next target. Thank you so much for that. Our scientists on shore are so helpful.
It's always easy to get the scientists on shore really engaged in our stream by throwing out completely inaccurate information.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whale.
We were close. We said probably a sablefish. It just looks so fat for a sablefish.
Right.
Okay, so we're heading towards waypoint 4.
Heading to waypoint 4.
We are very fortunate to have subject matter experts chime
Yes.
in. We'll occasionally have Christopher Ma from the Smithsonian help us with some species ID. And Mary
Many
UT Austin, who does the shrimp. Can't remember Mary's last name.
Oh, gonna have to think of that one.
She's written all the textbooks on shrimp.
And Crispin Little, who's given us a lot of information about the gastropods and clams and all the bivalves that we're seeing.
Christopher Ma is like the go-to expert on Twitter for any, a lot of fans of the live streams of not only our live stream, but also Okeanos Explorer and Falcor will tweet starfish pictures now to Christopher Ma, and he's super active on that platform and really helpful in making IDs.
Taking advantage of the not having to go to sea, but actually getting the experience of going to sea from your from your computer.
Completely. Yep, you can be on the seamounts of the Atlantic, the canyons of the Pacific Northwest coast, and Southern California all at the same time with the 3 ships.
I've been able to send some images when we have a fish we can ID to, and I can't remember his name. He authored Marine Life for the Pacific Northwest book. I'm sure we all have at home.
That would make me dizzy. All those separate expeditions.
Yeah.
And the best way to track them is on deepoceaneducation.org, the new website put together by Ocean Exploration Trust, NOAA Ocean Exploration, and SMIT Ocean Institute. There's an active calendar that'll show you when all 3 ships are streaming and connect you directly to their platforms.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Along with the combined education resources of all of our organizations. So sort of a selects and best ofs, all 3 organizations in one spot.
Could you repeat that?
Sure, it is deepoceaneducation.org.
200 meters.
So as we
Are
find
you okay for a Doppler reset?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. It's so bizarre. It's like a little
This
volcano.
needs a sound effect. Somebody needs to come up with the right sound
Yeah,
effect for this.
wow. Okay, so this would be bubbles 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like a tiny little volcano.
Yeah. That is so
That would
bizarre.
kind of tell me that this is a new site for those bubbles to come out. Would you agree?
Like it's maybe clearing
That's-
a channel.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
making like really big bubbles, right?
But like it's just started to come out of here.
Yeah,
That
could be.
It's an interesting theory.
So there are maybe 3 or 4, there's probably 4 separate bubble streams here.
I'd say more than that. Yeah.
4 plus.
Because if you look at the bubble cam, I know it's pretty grainy, but you can see that they're coming out of the sediment like
Oh, wow.
everywhere,
Oh,
right?
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
so a several meter area here where
Spread
you
out.
see them coming out of.
Yeah, there's 4 different spots right there. 5.
So you can imagine this sediment is not tightly packed. So sort of like Swiss cheese, maybe think about little channels that these bubbles, which are buoyant and rising, are working their way through the sediment and finding different places to emerge out.
So these are not as strong of a continuous streams, but there are a lot of them.
Yeah, and if you group them all together, there's probably more gas than what we saw previously.
Exactly.
It's just coming out of so many different
Yeah.
areas. I'm going to posit that this is a new area for bubbles to be coming out. That's my guess.
I think you might be right. That I've never seen anything like that before. Oh, here, they're showing off now. It's like, you don't think we're strong? Excuse me, I'll show you. Oh,
Hey,
funny.
fish, out of the way. Excuse me, sablefish, we're trying to look at the bubbles.
Right. A few, we're seeing a few, looks like clams here.
Yep. Very small, though.
Yeah, small clams. We're not seeing the little teeny tiny gastropods that we saw at the last site, which is interesting.
I don't think I'm at, let's see if I'm full zoom.
But we're seeing some clams. A whole bunch of bubble streams.
Oh, look at that tiny, tiny, tiny sea star.
So I mean, zoomed in here, you have a great view of the sediment too. So the marine snow that's coming down piles up as a sediment. We're also in a submarine canyon. So this is a place where a lot of sediment is transported down from the continental shelf, the shallow parts of the ocean, into the deep sea. So the questions about, you know, I thought that thinking the deep sea would be crystal clear, like the deep sea is highly variable depending on where you are and the processes, the large-scale ocean processes happening there. We're in a really productive area and we're in a canyon. So we're seeing more sediment, deeper sediment, and more marine snow being transported down into the deep sea.
It's entirely possible that that last site we saw started out like this.
Well, yeah,
it kind of created a depression.
Yeah, and then through the bubble erosion.
Well, and that brought in the gastropods and...
Yeah.
Maybe a little more mature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this could be a younger site.
Can't get a, come out and just get
Well, I don't
feel
think we're
for
going, and
There's more to
lot
starboard.
of bacterial
Yeah.
mat on the slope here. Really interesting. Boy, this whole area is
Is that
just
full right for you?
bubbling. That's
I
beautiful.
don't know.
And the little volcano off on the side. It's awesome.
So a large area of back mat on the slope.
So one of the things I find really fascinating about this is these bacterial mats are consuming this methane, and this methane is not reaching the surface as bubbles, not like a carbonated ocean alongside the ship right now. It's being captured and transformed by these natural processes. So when we think about the climate impacts of this, we are still understanding the natural system that is sort of taking in all this methane, consuming it, transforming it. It does impact the water chemistry around, but you know, this is a big part of the kind of climate conversation, but not in the way of just directly releasing the methane from the seafloor to the atmosphere. It's going through transformations along the way. And, you know, from my perspective, people often ask like, well, what happens if it does start releasing it? And you're like, well, I think understanding how it is currently being captured, processed, sequestered is really key to understand, to then being able to make predictions of like, what if the ocean was warmer? What if there was more methane? What if there was more acidic ocean? You know, you have to kind of know what's here first.
Yeah, but the methane that does get entrained into the ocean water does
Still got a ways to go
change the pH.
12 meters.
Makes it more acidic. But yes, it doesn't, by the time it hits the sea surface at this depth, it is not methane anymore.
You want to go to the target?
Well, yes, we do.
All right.
Let's see what's there. How far away are we, Chris?
Curtain of bubbles.
We're only 12 meters out, so.
Okay, let's see that.
100.
This hagfish is so gross. I mean,
it's just a beautiful, large area with a...
There it is. It just off to the right. Oh yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah,
little spots.
Can you point it out on the screen? I do. That's the first one we've seen.
Yeah.
It's dead. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. It's a great view. I mean, how large do you think this area is? It's hard to tell.
Chris?
Yeah, the whole...
With
the pit
The whole
and
area?
There's a,
Well,
should be
based
a,
on how far we scooted over, is 17 meters or so.
Oh, really? Okay.
Maybe.
So let's say about 20.
Yeah, let's say 20.
Okay. Great.
All right, where to?
Waypoint 3.
Waypoint 3.
What direction?
100.
100I.
Bridge nav, 30 meters, 095.
Very nice. Yeah, very modeled. Well, that was fun. I think Bubbles 1 would still be better for sampling, though, because Bubbles 2 seemed a little more intermittent, but a really large area. Another sole flatfish laying on the bottom.
there's a fish sitting on top
Got
of
a
a
What is
crab.
that?
crab.
That's it. It's sculpin, right?
Yeah, I'm having
Well,
a hard
let's-
time
let's-
idea. It
There's
sounds
a
like a
ling
blob
project.
scoping. Yeah, it might be a juvenile ling.
Look at
Yeah.
his head
Oh,
on it.
yeah. Probably, yeah, you're right.
Sablefish?
It's like the crab's giving him a hug.
I
Yeah.
know,
Oh, there's something in
What's
there.
going on there?
I'm sure the crab's like, if I pull this off, I'm
Tanner
eating like a
crab.
king.
Yeah. The lingcod is like, I don't care. That's so funny.
Might be a giant grenadier, I think.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh no, the
No, the
tail
back
is
of the
different.
tail
yeah.
is different. Yeah.
Is it sablefish?
Forked.
What is that?
Is it a sablefish?
Boy, the shape of the body sure says lingcod to me.
I think
And the
Megan
head
is
as
correct.
well.
I think it is sablefish.
So Crispin told us that they are, those were small gastropods. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
0.3. Good picks in the multi-beam water column data this morning. So far, we're 2 for 2.
It's fantastic.
And how far did the next waypoint, Chris?
30 meters.
Close. And anytime you want to pipe in, Taylor Ann, you're always welcome.
Of course.
Want to identify.
I think we're
Okay.
yeah, definitely
Ooh.
saw a sablefish earlier. That looks a little different, but maybe.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It doesn't really. You're right. It looks a little different than sablefish, doesn't it? I wonder what that is.
Surprised at how much marine snow is like staying in the water column this whole time.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Being right at the base of the canyon like that.
Probably one of the reasons it's so productive.
Yeah, the sea stars like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here comes another one of those. I mean,
It has like the same type of fins. It just looks lighter in color, but it could be.
it could be a sablefish, but looks a little bit. What's that you have pulled up there?
Yeah, this is a sablefish here.
Yeah, I think that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Probably.
Oh.
Yeah.
That definitely looks like one.
Yeah, they're so interesting, right? Because they have that resting posture. So I always start to think, of some of the more stationary predators. But then when you look and they have that kind of like distinctly forked tail, you're like, no, you are also fully built for free swimming in the way that maybe like a blob sculpin or
It looks like
Yeah,
we
something
might have
like
some
that
bubbles
is
on
not.
it.
They have those modified tail body
It had a
plan.
really big head. the
Yeah,
one
so
we
it's
saw.
Super wide, yeah. More like a dinner plate with a tail than
yeah.
a long skinny body.
Straight ahead, 12 meters.
Some beautiful jellyfish, which is not a fish. Another
Misnomer
An
of the
aptly
common
named, yes,
names.
like
Oh,
yeah.
that's the
Starfish.
current coming down that way.
Yeah,
guess
that's the
Down with
it's
common
that's
names.
probably I'm pretty sure that's a bubble stream because you usually
Yeah.
get the little streaks coming out in the direction of the current. So
All right.
it used to, I guess, be anything that was in the water was a fish.
Mm-hmm. I want to give a shout out to LTK Academy in Colorado, the elementary
8
school
meters.
students we just chatted with. They had some awesome questions about fish and about
Cool.
what lives in the ocean.
Aw, sounds like it was a fun interaction.
Oh, it was a blast.
5 meters.
Kylie, I'm doing gauges, but I think
What
I'm
is
gonna
it like
sink from
Zoom
in
in.
the ocean?
Zoom
in.
That's good.
Wide open. It's a wide open question.
Love
I
it.
wonder if
All right, what are we doing now?
well, we're gonna head on to the next waypoint. That would be waypoint 3.
Could we just take a peek to the left down the rest of this ravine before we move on?
Sure, let's do that. Let's look around. This is beautiful. All the sea stars up on the ledge and the chemosynthetic community below.
Kind of partially zoomed there, Ed?
No, I'm full line.
Oh, no, I was just saying you should.
Oh, copy.
Wow, you can really see the dark.
Yep.
Sulfury.
You think?
Yeah.
I bet you could sample this easily, though.
Oh yeah, it looks very thick and lush. Probably would end up being like clay at the bottom layers.
That's some, yeah, you can see how they're at. Is that a clam? In the current.
Some gastropods. Yeah, those little tiny snails. Looks like there's one right there too. It's a little bit bigger. And the yellow snail.
Okay, so this is our Bubbles 2 site.
Oh, it's going again.
Wow. Oh, there it goes.
Wow. It's really
Just
strong.
showing off now. Wow.
Look at the Argus view. All bubbles.
That's great.
Oh, yeah, it's a cool Argus shot.
Want to turn the light on?
Sure.
There you go.
White wispy bacterial mat in this area. So those are just little baby snails, tiny gastropods.
Amazing.
Is that what you're thinking, Taylor Ann?
Yeah, it looks like a bunch of little snails. It's interesting that the soil here, or the sediment, is really black. And
Right.
there's only small patches of little white bacterial mat.
Yeah.
And well-fed snails.
Yes.
There are some larger. Can we zoom in again, Ed, and look at what those larger white dots are?
I think
Is
that's
that
mat.
is that bacterial mat?
Looks like it.
I think so.
Got
It could be.
Bizarre that it's in a
filaments.
circle.
They kind of look like a
that.
barnacle.
Yeah, they look like a creature. Can you
Yeah.
get a better zoom? Or is
That's
that it?
zoomed all the way in.
Okay.
That's
Maybe there's some in the
Maybe right here
foreground.
in the foreground. Yeah, can you zoom in on some of that? I think that there's back mat that's covering like a snail or something.
I think it's really hard to tell. There's so much stuff
Yeah.
in the water column.
How about to the right? Yeah, like what's that right in there? It's very odd. I mean, it looks like bacterial mat on top of some kind of an organism to me. So that's a nice strong bubble stream as well, not quite as strong as the previous one. And we are very near waypoint 2.
I stepped out for a minute, so this is near 2. This is the second.
Yes, this is our second. So
Excellent.
It slowed down a little bit, but it was really strong.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that the white is,
Yep.
Yep.
Bubbles.
wow.
Wow.
Oh,
That is a
yeah, right in
huge
front
hole.
of us.
Bubble stream.
On the other side.
That's a lot.
No can do.
There's more of this kind of ravine to our port side too.
What are we looking at just off to the left of those bubble streams? Is that a possible piece of hydrate?
I think that's carbonate.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah, it looks
So,
crumbly and
It's like a
porous.
spine.
so this is bubbles 2?
Yep.
I bet this showed up on our mapping.
Yeah, no, this didn't actually show up on Norbit. It was as soon as we approached it, it started. You saw, you could see the
yeah.
the initial.
Over a large area here. Probably all along the northern base of this, the base of Astoria Canyon along the north wall. So more bacterial
You're
mat.
getting close.
Yeah, we're 20 meters out. Due east at this point.
So it's a little bit of shell hash there.
There's a lot more coming up.
Wow,
Left.
okay, this looks positive.
There's a
Here's
depression too.
I bet you it's in there.
Really, yeah. I'm wondering if these white patches are bacterial mat or if it's just from sea stars
Yeah.
feeding or what. Oh, the pale patches might be light-colored sediment exhumed by burrowing organisms from Crispin. Thanks, Crispin. Seems
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that seems more.
more likely than a bunch of little
yeah.
bacterial mats.
Yeah. Okay. Some type of flatfish.
Can I cycle the Sea King?
What?
Can I cycle power to the Sea King?
Oh, yeah. You gotta click the doodad there.
Bob, do you have a KVM station over there that you have access to?
No, I don't.
Not really, huh?
No.
People on either side of you do.
Why is it like that?
Split in half.
Is it on?
It's like green and not amber. And I didn't cycle it.
Well, you can. We'll leave it off for like 30 seconds or something.
What are these guys?
Hagfish, maybe?
Are they hagfish?
No.
They're a little skinnier. Eel pounce?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
must be eel pouts.
Yes, that's it. They're kind of cute. For a snake-like looking fish.
Is it okay if I restart the software?
Yeah.
Not totally flat. Yeah, we're going up from 783 to 780 meters at this next site.
Just 3 meters up?
Something dug that area up. And that was not us. Right beneath the vehicle now. Off to the left, doesn't seem a lot.
There's some
Bacterial
matting.
mat. Let's look that way. Okay, nice patch of mat. Thank you.
Bridge nav,
Can we zoom in a little
20
bit?
meters,
Oop.
120.
Snap zoom?
Zoom in.
Now that's bacterial mat. Not a whole lot of bivalves, clams, or anything like that. It looks like starfish rule this place. Okay, thank you. Can keep
Coming
heading
out.
to the target. We're getting warm. And is that a sole on the bottom there?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Flatfish. Off to the right, we're seeing more.
Yes, I will be staying after Port Angeles.
Okay, this is a nice patch here. Bacterial mat. Can we zoom in a little bit, Ed?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, we're seeing it all over the place here.
Yep.
Even more in the background. So this is a large area of mat. I bet off to that.
Up to the right.
Yeah, to the right.
Any advice, Bob?
What?
Any advice about this?
Is that the Sea King?
So this is a
Center.
large patch
Centering.
of bacterial mat.
Sort of seems like it's got a mechanical issue.
Taking a peek at something here real quick.
Sure.
Susan.
Sure.
Zoom in, Ed.
Yep. Coming in, focusing.
Bridge nav, hold position.
That's in focus.
Looks unabused.
Yeah.
That seems like it's having a mechanical issue, though.
What is that?
Sea
Says-
King
Sea
sonar.
King sonar. One of the sonars.
Dan has the software settings on his phone in a picture.
And what does that
Well,
do?
I know. I didn't touch anything and it
But
just
it says
started.
it's centering, and it's hung on centering. So that sort of sounds like maybe it's a mechanical issue.
Oh, why?
It doesn't look abused, so.
Okay.
All right, quick zoom here, Bob.
Yep.
Okay, lots of bacterial mat, mostly white mat. The bacterial mat is created by the methanogens in the sediment here that use the methane for chemosynthetic energy, which is sort of the basis of life at these chemosynthetic communities.
Partial zoom.
They're living off the chemicals. Unlike photosynthesis, which lives off the energy of the sun,